Hey everybody, welcome to your Life Point and this recap of our Unstuck at Work message. So this morning, we looked at what it means to get unstuck at work. My guess is most of you guys experience the Monday moan and a lot of TGIF. However, getting stuck at work is not God's purpose for us. There's four main things that will entrap us and get us stuck at work. The first thing is when we're disengaged. When we're just going through the motions, we don't really feel a clear sense of calling and purpose in our jobs. It doesn't mean we're lazy. We could still do a great job at our job, but we're emotionally disconnected. Just going through the motions every day, 9 to 5, and blah, 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 blah. The next thing that we get stuck at work is because of disappointment. You may have been passed up for a promotion that you should have had. Or maybe your dream job turned into a nightmare. Maybe things just didn't work out. Disappointment can cause us to get in a rut. It's like a wet blanket that can lay over us. The next thing that can get us stuck at work is overengagement or overworking, or as most commonly known, workaholism. That one for me has been an issue in the past. It's gotten me stuck many times. Workaholism is when we start to wrap our identity in our work and we start putting our work ahead of God, our family, and even our own well-beings. That's not God's plan for us. And the last thing that we get stuck in is underworking. And some people may just call it good old-fashioned laziness. This is when we get in a mode to where we'll just do the bare minimum to scrape by. We're living for leisure. Our only goal with work is to somehow make it to retirement and take a lot of vacation in between. We all get stuck sometimes at work. But you know what? The thing that will help us get unstuck is when we change our perspective and look at what God designed work to be. One big misconception is that work is a result of the fall of man, a result of sin, that it's punishment. That couldn't be farther from the truth. We looked at in Genesis, when God created Adam and Eve, He created them in His own image, and He gave them a job right away. He put them in the garden for them to work it and improve it. He gave Adam the task of naming all the animals. He said, go into all the world, increase in numbers, and subdue it. In other words, God wasn't done in this world yet. The plan that He had for work for humanity was to be in partnership because He's made us in His image. He wants us to use that creative nature to be able to go into this world and improve it and build upon what He did. I mean, God started with the world on day one, and over 6 days He improved it and continued creating. And then He creates us and said, now you get to do this with me. So anything that we find our hands to do, it's that very nature of God that's part of our identity that can take something and improve on it. When we work, when our hands find something to do, we do it with excellence because it's a chance to be part of God's plan in this world. I know a lot of people think, well, you don't understand my job. It's not helping nobody, and it's definitely not helping me. We looked at the story of Nehemiah. Nehemiah went all the way from the bottom, all the way to the king's court. He found purpose in what he had to do in a situation where I doubt that I could have found purpose in it. But he did a good job, and he did it with integrity, and he worked to improve the lives of those around him and ended up in the king's court. And because of that, he was in a position that God used him mightily to rebuild the walls in Jerusalem, to save people, to do an amazing job. But it was because he understood his work had purpose, his work had meaning. It was part of God's plan for his life. What about you? What are you doing for work? Do you understand that God has a purpose and a plan for you? Maybe you're in a job that you shouldn't be in because you're just getting by. God has created you and designed you and gifted you to do great things through your work. You have an opportunity to be part of what He's doing in this world by improving the situation around you, by improving lives around you. You have the opportunity to be a light in people's lives that you work with. Your coworkers are an amazing opportunity to show love to. But it all starts with changing perspective. Work's not punishment. And it's not just means to a paycheck. Work's an opportunity to be part of what God's doing and redeeming and improving this world. So tonight in your small group or wherever you're at, I want you to discuss this and think about it and wrestle with this. And God, how can you change my perspective? How can you give me vision for my work? Think about it. What do you want your job, your career, your profession to look like this year? Have vision for it, move forward with excitement, and allow God to do great things through you as you work to be part of His plan. Guys, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
I just wanna see them.